Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith. Today, I am talking about the Blackstone Chronicles, Part 3 Ashes to Ashes, The Dragon's Flame by John Saul. This is Part 3 of a serial novel from Random House Publishing, 1997. I did check on Amazon, finally, remembered to check, and you can get this in a new edition, collected edition. Uh, I think you're going to have to find used copies if you want the individual books. I don't know why I keep showing the tiny little spine. So, as I said, this is part 3. I've already done reviews for parts 1 and 2. I'm doing the reviews as soon as I finish the book, before I've read the next parts, because I don't want that bleeding into what I talk about here, but it's okay to bleed into the books I've already talked about, because that's how the story goes. So in this one, first of all, for the too long didn't watch folks, this is a 4 out of 5. It's the first 4 out of 5 um, so far for this series, and I really enjoyed it. It's got that 1997 John Saul style. The writing is fine. This one adds a map of Blackstone, which I really liked. Get to look at the town of Blackstone, see where all these locations that we've already been introduced to, where they are in relation to each other. And in this one, there's a little bit more world building, a little bit more character and character relationship growth. I think there's only one new character really that's introduced, and it's a character that's been mentioned before, but this is their introduction into the actually being in the story. And in this one, the cursed objects, just in case you jumped into the middle of this, each book so far has been about an object that mysteriously ends up in the hands of somebody, and it causes shenanigans of a horrifying nature. In this case, it is a golden dragon cigarette lighter. A lighter. You can use it to light whatever you want. Um, but you know what I'm saying. So, I liked the character development in this. We're digging deeper into the mysteries of the secret history of Blackstone, and um, the connections again that these characters, these families might have had in the past. More hints that things happened that people are talking about, things in the past. Excuse me. The reason this is only a 4 and not a 5, like I gave the first two, is I just found it less shocking and somewhat predictable. I mean, not completely predictable, but I could kind of see the way it was going to go. Excuse me. Pardon me. Kind of see the way it was going to go for some characters. I did expect a couple of things to happen that didn't. Which, if they had happened, I would have been shocked and possibly given it a 5. But I mean, a 4 is not bad. That means I really liked it. There are. There's no way, I think, generally speaking, there's no way people can read this and not make comparisons to Carrie by Stephen King, for those of you who don't know. um, and not there's no one with telekinesis in this story, but there is an incredibly religious woman in this story, very, very reminiscent of Carrie's mother, Margaret, right? Correct? Margaret White. Also reminiscent of the woman. This name I do not remember, but the woman in The Mist. Those are the two Stephen King characters that immediately come to mind when I'm reading anything that has this sort of overzealous religious character. But that doesn't take away from the character. I don't think. And I don't know that John Saul was, I'm going to steal this kind of character from Stephen King. And it's a character that we've seen uh, in part 2. Don't remember if they were probably mentioned in part 1, but I don't know if they appeared, if that makes sense. So again, we're getting sort of these characters that Oliver Metcalf so far has been a character in all of them. He's the editor of the Blackstone Chronicle. He lives by the Blackstone Asylum, which that's the place that set off all these events when a hole was knocked in the wall because they're going to knock it down. So he's sort of a central figure, even though he's not the focus necessarily of all the stories. And, excuse me, but I forgot where I was going with that. We get, there's just character names that were mentioned in the first book that then become the central focus of the later books. We'll see if that continues. I have 3 more to read. But yeah, just really, it's well written. It almost makes me want to go back and read more John Saul, but I have so much other stuff to read. I don't know if I will once I finish this, unless somebody's like gonna really just recommend the hell out of something. This is John Saul's best book ever. You should give it a try. I don't know that I'm gonna fit John Saul into the reading schedule I have for the next 25 years. But this is well worth it so far. So the Blackstone Chronicles Part 3, Ashes to Ashes, The Dragon's Flame, 4 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. I enjoy the way the story is building, but also the episodic nature of things. And I'm really curious as to how it's going to build up to that final book and what's going to happen, what secrets are going to be revealed. It's a well done story build. I wonder how it would read if you just sat down and read it. Well, I'm reading them all in a row, days apart basically. It takes me about a day to read one, and so far I've read one, taken a day off from reading, read the next one. Although I might get the 4th one done before I go to bed tonight. We'll see how I feel. But anyway, I wonder what it was like to read them when they came out a month apart back in 1997. And the stories take place approximately a month apart. So as they were being released, kind of thing. So I think it would be a different reading experience if you did it that way. And I also think it would be a different reading experience if you have the whole thing in one book and you basically have sat down and you're reading through the whole thing. And I'm always curious about how different reading experiences might be. Anyway, there you go. Once again, The Blackstone Chronicles Part 3, Ashes to Ashes, The Dragon's Flame by John Saul, 4 out of 5 stars. I don't have a question for this video, so I will just say, if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. And if you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is EricSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH5757. And if you're on Blue Sky, I am @ELSmith. That's all I have for you. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith. And until next time, read more books.